Good morning, Rotarians and guests. A lot of guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. I'm Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. Our invocation this morning is by Liz Ramsey.
It's true. Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning. Let's pray. Dear Lord, let us be courageous enough to act and react and to be complete persons today. Help us to see areas where we need to change and grow and to crave your truths, because you are the ultimate fulfillment of our hearts. Teach us your ways, Lord, so we may rely on your faithfulness. Thank you, Lord, and let us practice love, joy, peace, patience, and kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control as we head toward the gala and the necessary loose ends that need to be attended to. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Liz. And now please join me in the pledge and the four-way test. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will build goodwill and better friendships. And fourth, will be beneficial to all concerned. And to lead us in song, Dick Pearsall.
It was about a week ago, 2 years before that, that we lost one of the great men of Rotary, Jimmy Sutphin. And Jimmy Sutphin was a motivator. He pushed me and said we ought to be singing. He bought songbooks which were no good. And I think I was trying to figure out what to do. We sang all the things that we could memorize. Finally, one day I said to Donna Kastner, "You're good at that stuff. Could you project some words for us?" She said, "Yeah, I can give you 2 or 3. Well, then James Field took it up. Now he comes. We can sing anything that there's words to. Anyway, I want to sing today When You're Smiling. But if any of you were the roast when we had Jimmy Sutphin in the roast a little over 2 years ago, we changed all the words. We're just going to change a few today. So what we do is, when you're smiling, Jimmy Sutphin. When you're laughing, Jimmy Sutphin. Just 3 times in there, and then we're going to do a tag ending. So there you go. Okay. When you're smiling, Jimmy Sutphin, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, here it comes, Jimmy Sutphin, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, that brings on the rain, so quit your sighing. Be happy again, cause when you're smiling, here it comes, Jimmy Sutphin, the world all smiles with you. The world all smiles with you. I hope Jimmy heard it. All right.
Thank you, Dick. And now our president, David Basil.
Thank you, Ron. And good morning, fellow Rotarians.
Good morning,
and honored guests. Thank you for being here this morning. And Dick, thank you for the song. Jimmy was one of the great persons and great Rotarians it's been my pleasure to meet over the course of my life. So not anybody that anyone who met him will ever forget. Chris Barker, guest to introduce.
Good morning, Rotarians and guests. I have to tell you, this is one of my top 3 meetings. You know, it really is special to have our scholarship winners here today and their families. So they'll be introduced later, so I don't want you to think that I'm looking over them. But first, before we do introduce another guest, if anyone is missing a nice pair of sunglasses and a warm cup of coffee, they're over. They're at the check-in table.
Still warm.
Yeah, still warm. It really is, and it tastes pretty good. Okay. Well, Mike Swain, if you would please come up and give a brief introduction of your guest, Greg Box. And Greg, if you would like to come up as well, that would be great. But thank you for joining us today, and here we go. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I would just like to introduce to you Greg Box. Greg is a long-term Hudson resident, 25 years or so. has teenage daughters I heard him talking about at home. One of them has just started driving. Greg is a financial advisor with UBS, originally from Buffalo, New York. And he is, I'm happy to have him here as a guest this morning. So please welcome him.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike, and welcome to our meeting, Greg. Greg also happens to be my neighbor. He is a Buffalo Bills fan, and when we were looking at places, our younger son just happened to be wearing a Buffalo Bills sweatshirt, and Greg said, "Oh, this will be all right." Next, gala update. Ron, Gail.
Good morning again.
Good morning, Ron.
Things are looking really good with 2 days to go before we set up and have the big night. It looks like we surpassed our goal by even more than we told you last week, so we're somewhere's probably around $68,000 of gifts that we have, maybe a little more. Everybody rushed and bought their tickets at the last minute, and it looks like, and Gail, don't faint, but it looks like we're probably close to 270. And last week we were at 230. So some of them won't get anything to eat, but that's life. And we still need a little help on the, actually we're good for everything that goes on during the day, but that evening we still need some technical help at check-in. Anybody that knows how to use their smartphone and can help some of the people coming in after they've registered, just to help them get on their phone and help them bid. We could use a couple of more people there. And also at checkout to help people check out and find gifts, we could use a couple more people there. So I'm going to start the clipboard around again while Gail says whatever she wants to say.
Good. Thank you, Ron. Good morning, everyone. That's a number I didn't know. Wow, that's great. Almost just happened yesterday. All right. And I wanted to tell you, if you still haven't or know someone who hasn't registered, I'll still take it up until like noon today, and then I'll call the hotel with that magic number because we have to guarantee them. Also, I'm here to whine about wine. So any board member or gala committee member who has not yet contributed a bottle of nice wine or $20. I'll take the 20. And I am purchasing wine for those who are inept at making selections tomorrow. But remember, we have the big 24-bottle basket we do at the very end, or bucket of wine, all contributed by Rotarians. So please, honor system, just give me your 20 or give me a bottle of wine today, bring it to my office. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Gail. If you haven't been to the Gesture website, go. I was there over the past couple of days. The gifts are absolutely amazing. I have not seen this panoply of gifts for the gala in all of the time that I've been attending, and that was even before I joined Rotary. So it's wonderful. Yes, Gail.
People are already bidding. One item I checked last night, there's already been 8 bids on it.
Well, I've already been outbid.
Probably by myself.
And that's a good point. You can go on, you can begin bidding even before the event. So yes, there were a couple of items that had bids. A lot had no bids yet, and of course the live auction items cannot be bid until that evening. But there are some amazing stays and trips and experiences. Real quickly, David? Yes.
Also, if you're not attending the gala, you can go online and bid. And the only thing, once you try to make a bid, it's going to ask for your name and a credit card. And so you can do absentee bidding. And the website is Rotary17.gesture.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Ron? Ron? Yeah. What do we tell people who may be bidding that aren't going to be there as far as getting the item?
We'll get it to them.
Get it.
Yeah.
You and I.
You volunteered. You didn't know that, Jim, when you raised your hand. Real quickly for Rotarians, the District 6630 celebration event in June, it's June 25th. I have tickets. You can also go on the website and buy tickets. They are $20 for adults, $10 for children, because it is at Pioneer Water Park, and that's a good venue for grandchildren or children. Yes, Kathy? Yes, food and drinks are included. So it's all inclusive. Evan and Rich, gold badge presentations.
Good morning, fellow Rotarians. Good morning. All right, so the exciting thing about this presentation this morning is there's going to be another one following here in the coming weeks. And in addition, Mike Swain and some other Rotarians have brought guests that are interested in joining. So membership is growing, and that's really good to see. Today we're here to highlight the work that Clinton Samuel has done getting acclimated to our club. He has completed successfully our blue badge task list, which they're gold badges now, but we're still calling them the blue badges. I don't know what's up with that. But so I'm going to present this badge to Clinton today, and we're also sitting at the back right there. I'm going to be pulling his arm to get involved with the gala committee or potentially membership, and I would welcome any of you to have a conversation with Clinton as well, in terms of getting him onto one of the committees that you help out with. So without further ado, I'm going to present this badge to Clinton Samuel. And I've got a special surprise for him also.
Oh,
Here you go.
thank you.
So nobody in the room has probably seen these yet. I've got a new pin here. This is the theme, the Rotary theme pin for next year. It's Rotary Making a Difference. And I'll have some more of these for everyone in the club, but Clinton is going to get this first one today, and I know that he's going to wear it very proud underneath that beautiful other pin that he's got on. Would you like to say a few words, Clinton?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say thank you to everyone, as I've gotten acclimated to the club, and I look forward to being courted to be joining a committee that's out there today.
Thank you, Evan, and thank you, Clinton, for becoming a member of the club. I know that you will help us in many, many ways over the coming years. That brings us to the big part of today's meeting, and the most important part. It's the time when we get to meet the recipients of the Rotary scholarships. These scholarships are a primary beneficiary from the gala that is coming up, so it highlights the importance of that event for our club. And it's a meeting that I know I and all Rotarians look forward to immensely as we learn about the exciting plans these students have going forward. So I would ask Dan Williams and Catherine Sines to come up and introduce the scholarship recipients.
Thank you, President Dave. Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning. As Chris indicated, this is one of my favorite meetings of the year also. Catherine Symes is co-chair with me of the committee, and Ron Strobel, for the last few years, has helped us interview, and we really appreciate that. But the three of us get to hear all these kids. Now it's your turn. And I think you'll be very impressed with the quality of students that Hudson is turning out. The process for the Rotary Scholarship is this year we had 19 applications. We winnowed it down to 9 whom we interviewed, and then we ended up with the final 5. And it was a very, very difficult decision as to how to get the 5 out of the 9. But I think you'll be very, very impressed. The scholarship, this year we're able to give $3,000, and there's 5 of them, and it's a 1-year scholarship. So this is the most, in my memory, that we've ever been able to give. So when you bid Friday night, bid things up so we can increase next year's grant. Well, the process this morning, our superintendent of schools is going to MC this. He is going to introduce the first student and then introduce the rest of the teachers. The teachers will talk about the students. Then the students will come up and talk a little bit about their aspirations, where the challenges they've had, and just give you a chance to get to know them. So with that introduction, our superintendent of schools, Phil Herman.
Good morning. So my goal today is to do everything with half as much enthusiasm as Dick leads our songs in the morning. So I appreciate that, Dick, for setting the model for me today. It's one of the most exciting days of the year within Hudson City Schools because it's graduation day. So we have our commencement ceremony this evening at E.J. Thomas Hall, where we will send off 391 seniors. And the reason why it's such an exciting day for us is because it's a reminder that and confirms about what we're doing in school. You see, we celebrate a lot with you throughout the year. We celebrate some of the sports successes and the musical performances, and you participate in our events and presentations at school and help judge them or provide feedback to our students. And each one of those things on its own stands as an amazing event. But all of them combined are for the real purpose of why we're here. They're all just preparation for life beyond the doors of Hudson City Schools. And today, we get to see the culmination of all of that work as we send students off. And that's why I want to thank you for the scholarships, because it's not really about what we're doing in K through 12. It's about what our students do beyond K through 12. It's what they do when they leave Hudson City Schools. And how they give back to the world in their future, and you're helping to support those efforts in their ongoing education. So I'm greatly appreciative of everything that we as a Rotary Club are doing to support our students along the way, but also even beyond. So thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce one of our scholarship award recipients this morning, Abigail Gore. So I've gotten to know Abigail this year, and I get to meet thousands of students. And few have impressed me at the same level as Abigail. So I'll just read a few words from a recommendation letter I wrote for her. But I've been so impressed with her poise, her leadership, her ability to have articulate conversations, and her involvement in the schools and community. What I really appreciate, I think most about her, is the combined confidence and humility that really helps others feel so comfortable and in every interaction that I have had with her. So it's my honor to introduce to you our first award winner, Abigail Gore.
Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning. So as some of you may know, my name is Abigail Gore, and I've come a couple times through Rotary in the last couple of months doing AV for you all, so I'm very glad to be here again. Thank you. So I am attending Kent State University in the Honors College next year with a major in international relations, and I have to say I'm very nervous because the whole idea of change is something I've worked hard to acclimate into my life and integrate. So it's very nerve-wracking but exciting to go off to college and be at Kent, but it's good because I'll be close to home. I get to have my sense of security still and be able to be with my family as well, and some of my friends who are graduating as well with me and coming to Kent. But in general, I'm just so thrilled to be able to finally make a big step towards the difference that I mean to make in the world. And for me, I am a very political person. I love politics and the argument and the debate and getting involved in our modern day society, because I feel like my generation, at least, needs to be a lot more involved. because I feel that a lot of the millennials, we've kind of backed off and just let everything kind of fall into place or fall apart. And in my opinion, it's most important for us to get involved, which is why I plan on majoring in international relations, and I want to learn Arabic throughout college and be able to work as a foreign diplomat in the Middle East. However, I realize that is quite a goal, and I'm going to work my way up to it, hopefully working more so in campaigns and different political rallies. And I went to a few marches, actually, throughout my times doing political. I went to the Women's March in January, which was a phenomenal experience. It was my first big rally in DC to be a part of the politics and all the passion and love from people. And I'm so thrilled to be able to have this opportunity through this scholarship to be able to afford and prosper in the academic area of university and college and the whole thing. It's so exciting. So in general, I want to thank all of you so much, because I know it's impossible for me to do this without the help of the communities and the help of my family and the support of teachers such as Mrs. Banner and Mr. Cosman. And I'm so fortunate to have been involved in the service learning program, to come here and be involved in my community and give back, because that's something I've always wanted to do and I plan to do for the rest of my life. So thank you.
We can't let these students go away without something to remember them from Rotary. So we're giving each of them a Rotarian bag. So here you go.
That's what they put the money in.
To introduce our next student, I'd like to introduce to you a teacher I think that you know well, has been here several times, Mr. Jamie Cosman. He's a high school English teacher. I think he's been with the district 19 years? 17 years. 17 years. You know him both through the service learning program and also as an English teacher. So, Mr. Jamie Cosman.
Good morning, Rotary.
Good morning.
You're going to find out this morning why Lonnie doesn't let me talk. She always does all the talking in the mornings. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but I'm the sidekick who stands over here.
Looks good.
Thanks. So I want to start and say it is truly an honor to be introducing Mo. She's a kid who, I'm kind of a moment person, and she's a kid who has had some pretty special moments for me. And one of those moments was, I was talking to one of her best friends the other day, and I said, I'm just so proud of her. And she said, why? I said, she's probably the most resilient student I've ever had, or just about. And so she said, you should say that. You should tell her that. So, and I've told you that, but I'm telling you again. But one of the moments, if I'm thinking about moments with Mo, one of the moments that really strikes me is she had the opportunity. It was a great opportunity. It was handed to her on a silver platter. Freshman year, she's in this room surrounded by adults, and we're all sitting there with her, and we all care about her, and we're trying to figure out how do we help her out. And I felt terrible for her because she's in a room, and for her, it probably felt like this big with this many adults. It was actually about a dozen. But I felt so bad for her. And she was handed this opportunity on a platter. And they said, do you want to switch English classes? And kids would pay for this to get out of my English class. And she actually decided to stay. And I say that because I think she would probably still be getting this award without it, had she made a different choice. I don't think I would be here, though, at least not for her. And so it's a moment, and we often don't know where these moments lead. But the other moment that just rings so special to me was first semester she was at Hattie's Gardens, which is an organic garden that's run by Hattie Larlam. And I know she was super nervous about going there, and I guaranteed her that she would like it. I flat out guaranteed. I don't really ever do that, but I did guarantee, and apparently we even made a bet, which I had forgotten about. But I flat out guaranteed it. And when I went to see her there, it was like she was at peace, and it was the only time in her life I've seen that, and it was a pretty special time for me. So I'll let you know you've chosen a super resilient young woman. And I really can't wait to see what the future holds for her.
Okay, hi. So as you can tell, I am Mackenzie, but most people call me Mo. Not really have a lot to say because I'm not a great public speaker, if I'm being quite honest with you. But first and foremost, I'd really like to say thank you for selecting me. It means a lot to me and my family that you have chosen me to do this, and I'm really trying not to cry. Going, I can't talk.
She's going to go to Kent.
Right now.
Right now.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Make us proud.
Just got caught up in the moment, forgot I needed to come back up. So our next teacher is a high school science teacher, Kathy Spillajoy. And when we think about these teachers, and as they come up, you begin to see the profound relationships that they have with our students. And you will notice that in each of these circumstances and in each of these presentations. What we know in Hudson City Schools is that the academics that we cover are absolutely essential. That's why we're there, to provide a good academic education. But we can't get to that without a meaningful relationship with our students. And if we do get to it without a meaningful relationship, students don't retain it. So the relationships are really the foundation upon which we build the education. You'll see that with each of our teachers. So Kathy Spillajoy.
Good morning, Rotary.
Good morning.
Oh, I just want to give my thanks for being here. I am a first-timer, unlike Jamie, so I'm hoping to be able to spend some future breakfasts with you. But thank you for this morning. It was actually a wonderful, wonderful surprise. I got an email a few weeks ago that I got the honor to come here and introduce just quite a young lady, Macy Laurie. I met Macy a few years ago in my AP chemistry class. A very, very challenging class if you've ever taken chemistry at any level. This is college prep, and we really push our students. And what I try to do before the classes even start, I go out and I seek other teachers, and I go, tell me about this student, tell me what I can do to help them be successful. And every teacher that I talked to kind of told me the same thing about Macy. They're like, you're going to love having Macy in your class. She's a wonderful person. What a young lady. And I kept trying to dig a little bit. What makes her so special? What makes her this wonderful student, this great young lady? Nobody could put their finger on it. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I gotta figure this one out. So I've been watching Macy throughout the year, and what I notice is really, really subtle, but Macy has this inner energy inside of her. And it's this energy that she just carries no matter where she's at, whether she's in AP Chem, whether she's in the hallways with her friends, whether she's out in the community, pole vaulting, maybe sometimes doing her gymnastics. It is this energy that just permeates her when she walks in the room. And what's really neat about that is it has a profound effect, not just on what she does, but everybody else that's around her. And so she'd come into class, and most students will come in with, yeah, we're gonna work hard today. I know we can do this. And Macy would come into class every day with I can do this. I can do this. And it didn't matter what the challenge was. And then the really neat thing was we do a lot of group work. And Macy would get around her group, and she wouldn't say, I can do this. It was, we can do this. We can do this. And all of a sudden, there wasn't anyone who was doubting her that they could do it. It was such an amazing thing to watch, just that powerful energy that she brought. And I'm going to tell you, I have no doubt, no matter what Macy does, no matter where Macy goes, she is going to be so successful. And tonight, when you walk across that stage, it is truly a beginning of everything that you can be. And I'm just so proud that I get to be here to help you celebrate. Good luck.
Good morning, Rotarians. Love that. I'm Macy Laurie, and I've been a part of the Hudson City School District for all 13 years. I've been a member of the cheerleading, gymnastics, and track team here, as well as a member of NHS, Huddle, and Spanish Honor Society. And next year, I plan on attending Ohio State University in order to study chemical engineering. And I am on this path because of classes like AP Chemistry and AP Calculus that I've taken that have inspired me with teachers like Miss Villagoy. And also, another reason that I am on this path is because of my grandfather. He was a mechanical engineer for Ford Motor Company. And doing this work and seeing how people respect him is kind of how I want to be remembered. And in the future, I hope that someday I can look back and say that I have made an impact on the world and that I have changed something to make life better for others. And after my 4 years of undergrad at Ohio State, I plan on continuing my education in a master's in engineering while beginning a career as either a manufacturing company doing lab work or a research-based organization. So I would just like to thank all of you for being just so generous and awarding me a scholarship, and also thank you so much for the service that you do in the community of Hudson. Thank you.
Our next teacher does not really need an introduction amongst this group. She's an incredible ambassador for the Hudson City Schools. You know her very well, Mrs. Lonnie Banner.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So happy to see all of you today. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you at the auction on Friday. Before I tell you a little bit about Sophia, I just want to take a moment and thank her parents for raising an incredible, beautiful, talented daughter. And I want to thank her grandparents who came into town last week from Mexico. I know that Sophia gets a lot of her strength from you, so thank you. And Sophia is the type of human being and student that every teacher wants to have. She is an absolute light. She includes people who are sort of on the sidelines. She's a deep listener. She is a talented poet and creative writer. But most importantly, Sophia is an exceptionally selfless person. Today she's going to be receiving a Silver Presidential Service Award from the federal government. And she has close to 200 hours of service in 1 year that she's given to this and other local communities. Some of her service includes working at First Glance, where she has babysat for the children of teen moms, ringing the bell for the Salvation Army for their Red Kettle campaign. She's been a teen leader through the SUMA healthcare program, since I know that she's definitely interested in some type of medical field. And she even has found time to help out at some of our therapeutic equestrian centers in the area. But what I'm most impressed by is her work at her 2 service sites this year. And the first one is Helen G. Arnold Head Start, which is in inner city Akron, where she helps out with 3 to 5-year-olds beneath the poverty line. And I've gotten so many emails from Miss Michelle about, and that's her site supervisor, about her days are so much easier when you're there, Sophia. Because when you've got 20 little kids running around, you need some extra hands with Legos and Play-Doh and reading and all that. But what I think is most impressive is that Sophia took the time to start teaching these young children how to speak Spanish. And so she's able to share a lot of her culture and her familial background with these little kids. And we know language development is so important at younger ages. And then she also was at Gardens of the Western Reserve in Streetsboro, where she was painting nails with Taiwana, or she was hanging out with Rita, who's 90 and in hospice care, or playing bingo with Big Red. Sophia even found the time to put on a senior prom for the seniors there, okay? With music and with decorations, and just got them up and dancing and moving around. So Sophia, you're one of the most compassionate people I've ever met. I'm a better person because of you, And I love you so much, and congratulations, girl. You're wonderful.
Good morning. Good morning. So today's really nerve-wracking because I am here with all of you guys, and I'm very thankful to have received the Rotary Scholarship. But I also graduate in around 7 hours. So it's crazy. And I am so grateful to have my family with me today. My grandparents that came from Mexico, they are such an inspiration to me. And I moved to Hudson 2 years ago from Arizona and from Aurora. So I've been like moving around like my whole high school career. And Hudson is my favorite place so far. The community is great and the teachers are great. It's just such an amazing place. And the programs they have, like service learning, it's such an amazing program. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do, like study, before I came here. But when I went to the nursing home, like Miss Lani Banner said, I realized that I wanna be a nurse and hopefully work in a nursing home. So I'm gonna be following my dream in Kent State, and I'm gonna study to be a nurse. And I'm so grateful for all of you guys to have come up with the money for the scholarship, which is gonna really help me a lot. So thank you so much, and have a nice day.
Thank you. Our last teacher to introduce you this morning is not only a Latin teacher, she is the Latin teacher in Hudson City Schools, which is sometimes a challenge because that means she teaches every single level and all of those different preps. And so I'm pleased to introduce to you Jen Romanek. There she is. I was looking for her.
Good morning. It's very good to be here again to introduce Tyler Ritchie. He's one student that I will definitely never forget. I met him for the first time actually at their freshman orientation that year, although I didn't know it was him at the time. They were in my room and he comes up to me and shakes my hand and says, "Oh, I'm so looking forward to this class. My sister told me it's great," and everything. And I'm like, okay, and he didn't say his name, and I'm like thinking, wait, who's his sister? Because I get so many siblings all the time. But I quickly got to know Tyler right from day one. And the other thing I will say too is that he makes me or made me realize just how long I'd been teaching, because he was the first person on my list, a class roster, to be born in 2000. So that was a shock right there. But I was very excited to have him in my class. He was in my class for 3 years. I will say I'm still a little bitter he didn't take my AP Latin class this past year, but it's because he moved on to bigger things here. He was an exceptional student from the start. The biggest thing I can say about him is just he has such a passion for learning, to the point, I mean, he saw learning as being fun, and any teacher just wants to have students like that find it just amazing. They just want to learn. They get excited about everything. He would find examples of Latin in various places and just be so excited to come tell me about them, and I loved hearing about that every day. And I just really see him as somebody who just wants to learn as much as he possibly can. He takes it all in, and I'm sure that's what led him to advancing himself as far as taking classes at Kent State, in addition with some classes at Hudson, and obviously more classes after that way through his senior year. He has just this self-confidence about him and this maturity beyond his years. And it was just such a pleasure to have him in class. He was he constantly challenges himself, and he doesn't back down from any challenge. I know I challenged him quite a bit sometimes, and he would kind of sit back and give me that look like, how am I going to get her on this? And he would come right back with things, and I love that. It's such a high energy in the class, that infectious energy, kind of getting everybody else with him. I really saw him as a leader, true leader in the classroom, inspirational leader, I would even say, because he'd get everybody on board with him. You know, he'd be excited about something, and the rest of the class would follow right along. I really enjoyed watching him last year. I took some of my students to the middle school, and they did some presentations to 7th grade classes, and he had the 7th grade class just going. They were doing these gladiator fights, and he's up there cheering them on and everything, and it was just wonderful, wonderful to see that. And I really think that his passion for learning, the more I thought about it, it's a passion for living that he has. He's somebody who likes to do things. I know he's been very active, in church activities and mission trips and various things that he's done. And I just, like I said, he's a person of action. He's a doer, no matter what it is. And he can lead everyone to do and inspire people to action as well. And I think that's just a great quality to have. And as I told your sister last year, O loca tu ibis, okay? Oh, the places you will go, all right? You are well on your way. You're going to be able to do whatever it is you wish to do, and you're going to do it fantastically, and you're going to bring others along with you and inspire everyone as you go. So I truly look forward to hearing about all your future endeavors, and I wish you all the best of luck. Okay.
Well, good morning. Good morning. I guess quite a reputation to live up to. I'll do my best. So really, I would like to say that my high school career was formed around finding out what I wanted to do. My mom was always in my ear going, "Oh, you're going into law. You're totally going into law. I can see it. You're always arguing well. You're going to do it." And in the beginning, I didn't quite believe her. I wanted to kind of figure it out for myself, so I joined a whole bunch of different clubs. I was in the business club. I was in Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I was in the band. I was in rugby. I was in the grill club, which is really just an excuse to eat burgers. In all these different clubs, I'll also mock trial eventually this year. But in all these different clubs, I was really trying to find out what do I like to do with my life. And so I really, really enjoyed the business club. I ended up being president of that last year, and that was amazing. The type of different relationships you can form with people and the networking that I learned through that is invaluable, I believe. So that was the first thing I found that hey, I really want to do that. And then this summer, I was invited to Washington, D.C. for a conference on law and CSI. And let me tell you, being in law and being in a courtroom, oh my gosh, I get euphoric. It is insane. I love arguing with people and making them say what I want them to say, which I'll have to learn how to use well in the future. But I definitely enjoy that. And so between that and classes at Kent State that I've been taking for the past 2 years, I've really found that law is what I want to go into. And so I'll be attending the Ohio State University, just like Macy, and I'll be in the Honors College studying business and political science. Hopefully, I'll go into law school after that. Eventually, I'd like to be a prosecuting attorney, so none of you do bad stuff. And then I'd like to run for some sort of public office. I think that service is really important and giving back to people who have given to you, and that really starts here. So I'd like to thank you all for pouring into me and for investing in my life, and I promise I will pay it back to you. So thank you so much again.
One of the things I wanted to share with you is how we pick the teachers. We interviewed the students, Ron Strobel, Dan Williams, and I interviewed the students, and during the interview process, we asked them who, in the past we've said what teacher has influenced you the most. This year we asked who has influenced you the most at Hudson High School, which we were surprised that Mr. Herman that was the first time anyone had asked the superintendent even for a letter of reference. Good job, good job. But every one of them, the stories that they told about the teachers was amazing. They didn't just say your name, they gave a story about why, because we would even say, why did that person influence you? And it was huge testimony to each one of the teachers that we have. Did you know that Hudson City Schools Explorers ranked 7th in Ohio in the best schools in U.S. World Reports in April 2017? That was up from last year, which I didn't really realize that till I went to do this presentation, and I saw I had the same thing last year, only it was, I think, 9th. This year it's 7th. These statistics are for 2016 because tonight at graduation, the principal will give all the statistics and all the information for this year. But each year we've had the record number of seniors, the number of students that we have that do National Merit Scholars and finalists. We have amazing students, if you didn't know it. And 3 perfect ACTs last year. I don't know how many this year. We'll find that out tonight. 2 tonight this year? Thank you. Thank you. We have amazing students. They are the best. Every time we interview them, I have interaction with them. It's just a testimony to our community. And athletes, I looked at the list that he gave me for athletics. I couldn't even put them all on there. There's so many, you know, winning teams, winning students, tennis teams. Yeah. A final thought, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Thank all of you from the students and from the Rotary. Thank you, students.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Catherine. Tyler, if you're going to be in court, be prepared for the unexpected. Most people don't realize that early in my career, I did a fair amount of criminal defense work. And my partner had the experience of a client who professed his innocence vociferously, right up until the time he was on the stand, at which point he confessed to the crime in open court. And he said he thought the jury probably was either sorry for him or just wanted lunch because the jury took 2 hours in their deliberation. I think what we have seen this morning is again evidence of the fact that our nation is going to be in tremendously good hands in the future. Thanks to our teachers and our staff, I think they deserve a round of applause from all of us. You do absolutely amazing and incredibly important work. I can't think of anything more important than the work you do. And for our students, thank you very much for being here. You are the examples for your generation. And as I said, in your hands, I think our future is very, very well positioned. So again, let's give all of these students as representatives for all of the graduating seniors a round of applause. And to all of our guests and to all who might be watching on Hudson Cable Television, because these meetings are broadcast, I invite you to return. Our speakers are up on our website, and anytime you see one that is of interest, please feel free to come join us, and we would welcome you. We would love to have you as members of our club. So feel free to come. The door is always open. This morning, again, I would like to thank our greeters, Phil Tobin and Joe Avella, the audio-visual team. Abby, you have done it so often in the past. By practice and by habit, I've got to thank you. Den, thanks for always being at the ready on a moment's notice. Tom Page, Tom Tobin, James Field, and Ron Barnhouse. Gentlemen, thank you very much for all of the work you do in setting up the AV and making it possible to share our meetings with the community. Today's Rotabach. I'm not certain.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. I can't tell what the payout is.
Should be $11.
Okay. Today's payout is $11. The jackpot is $188. Boy, I don't see the 11. Okay. Thank you, Ben.
I don't have a ticket. She's fleet. I don't have a ticket. She's unimpeachable. Unimpeachable.
Okay. The last 4 numbers are 9524. 9524.
Oh, there we go.
Mimi.
Oh.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Get the big one. Oh. Next time.
Next time.
And for our guests, I typically leave our members with a thought or two as we conclude the meeting. Today I found two. They're a little bit longer than usual, but I'm going to ask you to bear with me. And I think that for these graduating students, especially, they are worthwhile. The first, you are not here merely to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a freer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand. From our 28th president, Woodrow Wilson. And the second, perhaps even, in my opinion, better for our graduating seniors as they launch into their future. It's from perhaps the most colorful and oftentimes controversial personality of the last half of the 20th century.
Okay, so it's not.
And I'll invite you to guess this one. His thought on the impossible. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential, impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Any guesses? Muhammad Ali. Too seldom recognized for his showmanship and perhaps not enough for his perceptiveness and eloquence. And with that, I thank everyone for being here. Have a wonderful day, and graduating seniors, enjoy the evening. We're adjourned.